Being here. So our pranayama today will work alternate nostril breathing. We'll just go right into it. No holds, so it'll just go from inhale to exhale. So with the thumb closing one nostril, inhale through the open, switch and exhale. Through that side at which you've just exhaled, inhale through that. Switch to exhale. We'll continue a few more rounds like so. Just note, if this simple technique changes your breathing at all, changes your relationship to your breathing, last couple of rounds, so just continue. And then we'll switch the cross of our legs. Let's go right over left. We'll prepare a seated spinal twist. With right over left, that'll mean we'll be twisting to the right. And exhaling, sit bones find the earth as we begin to turn to the right. The front of the throat can be just as open as the back of the neck. When we unwind, inhale, this top leg will remain bent. Raise the right arm, mariachasana, and exhaling, fold. This right arm will either brace against the shin or encircle the shin. Sometimes I'll latch onto the thigh. Just letting this shoulder blade and this arm position just help illuminate the right side lung and back and lat. And then I can always feel what's my breath like there, what's the absorption like there, what's the contact. And when we release, we'll sit for a moment, both legs straight out in front. And a little move with the shoulders. The palms go down to the ground right beside the hips. We're not pressing our body off the ground necessarily, but pushing palm, flexing the palms, pushing straight down until the shoulders just slightly glide away from the neck. Inhaling both into both sets of ribs, right into the arms, and ribs move into the arms. Lengthening internally. This can occur as a function of release. It's really an internal release that allows us to feel a little taller, which to me feels both buoyant and grounded. There's something that settles toward the earth and also is buoyant. So that both qualities become more perceptible. All right, I'll switch to the other side. Left over right. So a quality of settling or contact or gravity, however you want to call it, but it's the matter and the weight of the body being released toward the ground. In combination with that, it's the way bubbles effervesce, they always seem to go up. And then exhale, turn to your left. No strain, you don't have to hit any end ranges of anything. And when we release that mariachasana, left leg bent, right leg outstretched. Right, now exhaling, that left arm will hook over that left thigh. So it'll either brace against the shin, hook to the thigh, or you can get a hands around the back hook. Just sufficient. You can feel the tone around the left lung. You get a sense of the top of the lung area. You can relax your forehead slightly down. And when we release, inhale, we'll come upright. And we're revisiting this L-shaped pose, this L, the sitting pose. Because sometimes when we get into those rotation, wraparound, shoulder situations, the shoulder will tend to hike up. So again, palm the ground right beside your hips. The shoulders, so I'm not shrinking my spine to put my palms on the ground. In fact, my palms stay grounded. And within these parameters, I'm lifting the low back away from the sit bones. Spreading the lowest ribs, the side of the ribs toward the arms. This will happen just as a function of breathing circumferentially, omnidirectionally. The shoulders keep moving down. One more very full breath. There's just, my hands are not receiving my body weight so much as I'm just posturing very, very vertically through my torso. All right. That'll help us as we set up for dolphin. So we'll move to elbows and knees. Inhale. Those same areas, sides of ribs. And exhale the knees off the ground. Now it is possible you could work dolphin keeping the knees down, and that would be fine. And we'll gently set the knees down. Okay. You're welcome to pad the knee. We're actually going to move into nomads or a forward fold from here. So patting the left knee, inhale, stepping the right foot forward and straightening the right knee. So I will use blocks to straighten the leg rather than necessarily bending the leg to put the hands down. And then if I can somatically recall some of that same length we were getting seated in that L shape, we can begin to fold over this right leg. And then we can always soften even more through the trunk and allow the spine and the ribs and the whole back side to kind of softly hang. I think it's valuable for us to get fold in multiple ways, very supportive way that we kind of lengthen, and also the rounding way where we get really, you allow the back muscles to soften. Okay. When we press up, we'll set the hands down. Inhale and slide that right knee back. Exhaling, downward dog. Using the hands with my knees down to get those shoulder blades wrapped if I want that. Nomads on the other side. Inhaling, we'll step the left foot forward, setting the right knee down. So again, most of my weight will at least begin on my knee. And I can do this fold in two ways or two parts. And one is that way where I feel all of that length and I hinge. This part, I'm not using my hands to catch me because I'm supported from the inside, from those really, really deep tendons from the diaphragm and around the spine. And then you can put the hands down and soften through the back to feel this other kind of fold where the back of the neck, the muscles start to round more. And inhale, walk our way up, stepping that left foot back. Again, exhaling, downward dog. And as you're, as you're exhaling in downward dog, consider that the exhalation, just releasing the diaphragm, and the diaphragm will tend to kind of release and go up to about mid-sternum. So if that helps you picture or feel for softening around the diaphragm or the lungs, please use the imagery to help you understand and feel and acquaint yourself with all of these internal movements. Warrior one. Inhale, right foot forward. Exhaling, can you feel that settling or that sinking kind of gravity of releasing the tailbone down while still stretching the arms, the rib cage toward the sky? Push. You can push the feet in. You can feel the feet settling onto the ground. The more pushing that the feet do, the more musculature that you can activate around the legs and the hips. And inhale, bring the hands down to the ground. Exhale, step the right foot back. Lower all the way down, belly to earth. Cobra. Inhale. Exhale, lower, downward dog. Okay. And again, using the whole hand, the palm, kind of the base or the roots of the fingers, to get a big part of that shoulder blade rib connection, hugging that space between the arms. So I know we're doing a lot of downward dog without having done a lot of or any abdominals. And as we breathe into the mid-back, and sometimes some of that shoulder blade material I find that there, like the mid-back and the upper back can play into how expressively we feel the abdomen. So we're just taking a little different route today. And actively hugging. So this is a pretty, it's not a casual downward dog. The inner arms the arms may be getting a little warm at this point, but actively hugging bicep to bicep, that'll start a rotation down in the bottom part of the shoulder blade, straightening the elbows, and then as if pulling the arms apart, they don't move. And warrior one, inhale, left foot forward. Now, in my warrior, I continue to work the arms just like I did in downward dog. Right, so I'm playing with that area between my arms. Some people play as if it's like compressible, thick air. Like the air has some resistance between the biceps and the forearms. And you may like that. You may like playing with compressible air. And that may actually help you get a wrap that illuminates this mid and upper back. Because this mid, this upper back, where all these arm parts, interconnect, that's diaphragm and that's gut. So the arms have a lot to do with freeing, readying, supporting our gut, our diaphragm. And inhale, place the hands down. Exhale, chaturanga. Cobra. Inhale. Exhale, lower downward dog. So we're going to continue this downward dog from our knees. So where the hands are is perfect. Set the knees down and just step them slightly back, like just a few inches back. Now, again, this is not a casual thing for the arms, so I've taken the moments to spread the hand and to get all these parts of hand connected to the ground, tweezing that compressible air right between my arms, and then start to shift your hips back. Like a very active embryo. I'm pulling the arms apart, squeezing this compressible air between my biceps. And when we release, it's kind of moving forward here. If you have a couple of blocks, and it's got to be 2 or none, go ahead and set the blocks down, as we'll get another iteration of downward dog with our hands on blocks. And when you're ready, exhale the knees off the ground. All right, inhale, step the right foot forward. Let's set the knee down on cushion or padding. Left hand, grab left ankle. Heel to butt lunge. I'm just feeling and noticing out loud here, just having done such a series of downward dogs and arm stuff. I'm noticing how differently the shoulders respond in this lunge than usual. Like how much more relaxed and just able to kind of soften away from the head. Feels kind of nice. It's almost like we practiced getting breath into the lower lobes of the lung and the diaphragm. All right, when we set that left foot down, we'll back out just a little bit, interlace the hands. We'll re-enter lunge. There's an optional up level here if you want it. You may prefer to interlace your hands around the left foot. If you feel a little too cold or too wobbly for that, you don't have to. Okay. Some people feel that more as a back bend that they need to warm up to, so it's there, but I'm offering it to us in lunge or otherwise. Now the hands are being moved toward the back of the mat. Either I'm pushing them that way or the foot is drawing them that way. And release. Inhale, we'll go hands to ground, or if your blocks are still there, you can use them, but it's downward dog. Let's step that right foot directly back. Again, not casual downward dogs. Not casual, because there's just too much to regard around the lung and the diaphragm. So I'm just taking that little extra time. This really is kind of the effortful part of the practice. Again, embracing that compressible air right between the arms. Allowing that to ring through the spine or through the serratus or through the lungs. Just letting these motions of the arm illuminate for us our spine, our lung, our aches, our joys. And then imaginarily pulling the arms apart. I have my thumbs wrapped around the block so it actually makes it pretty good hook. And inhale, step the left foot forward, patting the right knee. Actually getting some really nice sternal adjustments with all these downward dogs. So just recalling these are joints right here. And they are subject to movement and displacement, and they can be reorganized. I just happened to get a little bit going. So that's nice, thanks. All right, heel to butt lunge. Right hand grab right foot or ankle. I like grabbing the ankle just because I can hook the foot, and then I can press out the heel, press out the ball of the foot. I can get very articulate through my foot on behalf of my hip. You can set the right foot down, and we can back out just a shade. Lunge, interlacing hands. Okay. Remember, if you like the option, you could interlace your hands around your right foot, But again, some people just find that's a little too back bendy, so now we give ourselves a chance to breathe through the sides and the front of the shoulder. The arms vibrantly connect to the back of our body, but also to the front through the chest area. So really the structures of the arm kind of envelop and surround the lungs and the heart. You almost see them like structural encapsulations, or the arm structures almost cocoons the lungs and the heart. And release. Okay. Now when we step, let's step the right foot forward to standing. And we can inhale, arrive at standing. Okay. Ooh, nice. Working with the wall, shower, and yes, this is another iteration of downward dog or arms over our head. So please recall with me, the hands are, the wrists are flexed, hinging, and reaching back. I'm reaching back through the sit bones, suggesting a kind of a tensioning, a gentle tensioning of the tissues, a tensioning that lengthens, helps me lengthen internally. I don't feel that I can get as active with my arms here as I was in downward dog. But there are little things that I feel I can do with my femurs, my hip sockets, my hips, that I can't do necessarily in downward dog the same way. And some people will find that just kind of rotating their thigh bones inwardly or can help just start to loosen or awaken. I say loosen in the sense of introducing a movement that promotes aliveness, like an awareness of, an aliveness. And step forward to exit, standing up. Now let's have a seat. There's two poses we'll nab before we wrap it up. I'm going to end a little bit before the hour today. So here I am again, seated, kind of that beginning spot that we were. And I'm going to grab my loop. My loop is for 1 foot at a time. Okay. So my left leg is along the ground and my right leg is looped. And I'm moving from a very Let me just remind us. I don't have all my words together yet. Remember we did that? I'll have to think of my Sanskrit also. Okay. We palm the ground, we got really tall. Okay. It's that notion, it's that echoing through, drawing the right foot off the ground. So I'm not leaning back. I'm not pulling or rounding forward. There's almost an equilibrium of both pulling and tensioning the spine forward. So I get taller. Now, it is possible that you can easily grab the foot. I started with the strap just because often if we grab the foot, we can sacrifice the lift, the tallness. Okay. And then I'll release that. And we'll do the other side. So I have my right leg down. And again, I've got how else could I get this tall seat? I could put my back to a wall. What I find kind of nice about this fold is I can experience both my sit bones on the ground, and I can feel very precisely if I tend to sway or shift my weight, or I couldn't feel a lot of these things if I just did pyramid or downward dog. And release. All right. No abs. Rest. So lie on your back. And when you're ready, bend knees. Turn over, press up. Namaste. Here's to our pericardium. Have a wonderful day.